So, did you hear about the Norwegian burglar who broke into the Elks Club? He was apprehended because he signed the guest book on the way out. There was an insurance salesman. He was saying to Ole, now before we complete this policy, do you want an ordinary life? And Ole says, well, I would like to fool around a little on a Saturday night. There was a Norwegian, he was attending a play, and he decided to leave after the first act. And he explained why. He says, well, it says on the program, Act 2, 9 months later. And I don't have time to wait, so I'd better get going. Okay. This is Norwegian. He was taking a chicken home for egg laying and eventually a Sunday dinner. And on the way home, he thought he'd taken a movie he wanted to see. So he tucked the chicken down into his trousers so that the management wouldn't see. And he sat down next to two women. And during the show, the chicken got restless and stuck its head out of the zipper. One of the gals, she spied the sight in the dark theater, and she leaned over to report that the Norwegian was exposing himself. And well, her friend says, why, Mabel, haven't you ever seen one before? And Mabel says, yeah, I certainly have, but this is the first one that ever tried to eat the popcorn out of my sack. I have one about a guy named Selmer Tuskerud. That's a Norwegian name. And he was from Tacoma, and he had a plan to elope with his girlfriend Frida. So in the dark of the night, he climbed up a ladder on the side of the house, and Frida came to the window and whispered, be quiet, Selmer. Don't make so much noise. You'll wake up my father. And Selmer said, you don't have to worry, Frida. He's the one holding the ladder. Ole, he said, say, Nels, how's that educated son of yours doing? And Nels, oh, you mean Nels Jr.? Well, he's got a BA and an MA and a PhD, but no JOB.
He's a professional student.
And Ole says, did you see Santa Claus come down the chimney last night, little Ole? And little Ole says, no, Papa. But I heard what he said when he stubbed his toe on the couch. And the girls, they kind of get in on it too. Lena was teaching a Sunday school class of 7-year-olds, and to her dismay, little Ingeborg started saying some very vulgar words, and oofda, said Lena, you shouldn't say things like that. You don't even know what they mean. And sure I do, said Ingeborg. They mean the car won't start. And the oldest people in Ole and Lena's town, they just got married. And according to the paper, the bride was 89, and her husband Eric, he was 91, and he was the groom. And the paper said the couple spent their honeymoon getting out of the car. These are pretty bad. And Ole says, I heard Knut is in the hospital. What's his problem? And Lars says, his knee. His wife found his secretary on it. Um, Ole and Lena, they were strolling along the street and they spied a very ugly man and woman with their two beautiful children. And Ole and Lena didn't realize they could be heard. And Ole says to Lena, how could two ugly people like that have such good-looking kids? And the irritated, ugly man turned his head and cracked, you fool, we didn't make them with our faces. Lars, he gets down in the dumps once in a while. Last week he said, I got no luck at all. I've been so busy looking out for number one that I stepped in number two. And here's another one that Ole, he says, you know, you're getting old when the woman you could have married looks like the one you did. And Lars, he was talking about his acquaintance Hjalmar, and he said, you know, that Hjalmar, he deserves to be kicked to death by a jackass, and I'm just the guy to do it. And that's what I got for tonight.
Yay!